Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's do an audio check. I'll make sure I'm good. All right. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Okay. Yes. Don't forget the thumbs up, everybody. I'm in a silly mood tonight. I am. I'm in a silly mood. I don't care about all the crazy stuff. I laugh at everything. It's the only way to live, really. You take yourself too serious, you might have some issues. We need to laugh. We need to have a good time. We're gonna make fun of Letitia James. We're gonna do all that, and I'm counting on you too. I'm counting on you guys tonight. That Q&A. Let's get the comments on the board here. See what we got. There you guys are. I'm good. I'm good. Man, I love you guys. I really do. It's so much fun on a daily basis with the majority of you, I would have to say. There's a small percentage that infiltrate me on a daily basis, if you will, from the outside. But yeah, I'm hey guys, how are you? I see you in the comments there. Yeah, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. That would be wonderful. All right. So I guess the technical things are good. So if you're new to the show, I'm on every Thursday night at 7 p.m. My name is Bruce Snyder. You probably know that because you're following me on one of my social platforms. This is No BS with Bruce Snyder. You can always find my my uploads on the number one platform is Rumble all the time. I'm always streaming to Rumble. I just started to stream back to YouTube because they pretty much got rid of the censorship as well. I used to only do it far and few in between. But now I'm doing it on the regular. X, I don't really, I'm having issues with X. I'm not too happy with some things going on with that platform, but it's still a great platform. Don't get me wrong. But the only time I really live stream to X is when there's a watch party or something like that. So I love you guys too. Fantastic. Good to see everybody here. Good. And so we usually take a couple minutes just to get everybody settled in, people just jumping on, knowing that I'm streaming live. Again, it's every Thursday night at 7 p.m. I was on here Sunday night because I had to reschedule due to my grandson's birthday last Thursday. And I thought it was a good show last week, you know. We'll touch on that later. I thought the second hour of last week's show was pretty good. And I want to, we're not going to have a show like that tonight, but I just want to discuss that for a brief moment. So, okay. Also, yes, please share. Always share. You guys do a great job at sharing. You know what? Speaking of sharing, let me take a look as we're waiting to get the show started. Been lagging a little bit. A big guy on the yeah. So I mean, we've reached on Facebook in the since over the past 90 days, we're at over 40 million views. That's great. And that's a good thing because, the news is getting out there, reaching people. And with my manipulative ways, I kind of toss in the hope, um, the encouragement, if you will. And I love doing that. I absolutely love doing that. I can't get enough of it. Um, because we live in crazy times. And again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I laugh at this stuff. It's so insane some days. I just have to laugh. And that's why there are certain, I see people out there taking it extremely serious. And don't get me wrong, but I think it's too much. Um, I noticed, certain people have been following me for years. I try to break it up and put in funny posts and things like that on purpose. That's intentional to make people laugh. And there's a few folks out there. I'm really concerned that you don't have a sense of humor. What are we gonna do? I mean, if God forbid if nuclear war went off, what are you gonna do? Right? Anything like something crazy like that. Just have your house in order. I don't mean your physical house. You can clean it if you want. Just have your house in order. Have your foundation rock solid and be prepared. Always be prepared. You never know. And enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Whether it's madness or if it's a good ride or a crazy ride or a scary ride, just enjoy it. Learn how to enjoy it. Okay, I think we're settled in here. That's good. Everybody's getting on. Good, good, good. Are you guys good? Let's check over. Let me check on Rumble real quick. Yeah. Okay. We're good over there. Excellent. 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 All right. So I laugh when it's probably inappropriate. I do too. I laugh a lot. Behind the screen, I should film myself one day. The things I laugh at, I'd probably get in trouble. But you know what I laugh about? Oh, I'm jumping ahead here. I laugh about um, the folks out here, how unfortunately people are being manipulated and lied to, and they put on a pedestal. And I just shake my head on a daily basis over here. It's really astonishing to me, and I sit back and laugh about it. Um, I just don't understand it. But the internet it's a crazy world. It's a crazy digital world, and it's getting crazier, and it's going to continue to get much worse. The reason it's going to get much worse is because of AI. Okay. Um, AI, I had a show on AI and I want to do continued shows on AI, and this show ain't about that tonight, but since I just brought it up, I'll touch on it real quick. Um, AI has its really wonderful tools, and it can really help out a great deal. There's so much um, that looks hopeful for the future. Let's put it that way. And right now, but the other AI that I'm talking about, set aside all the great things that it can do, is the manipulation, and especially when it comes to the fake videos. I said it before. I said those AI baby videos, which I, like everybody else, get a kick out of. I said there's going to be a day, and it's going to be quick, within a year or two, at the most 2 years, that we're going to sit back and probably look at the times when we laughed at those videos. And then there's going to be a time within a year or two, you're not going to be able to tell what's real and what's not. And it's quite concerning as well. But at the current time right now, I'm pretty decent about being able to figure out what's AI. I noticed, like, I put one the other day. It was trending, which was that guy yelling in the like a National Guardman's face or something, and he sprayed pepper spray in his face. He said his name was Sergeant Pepper. Uh, Hilarious. But the reason I posted it is because it was trending all over the place and being passed off as real. That's not a good thing. So it's going to get worse, and I'll do as long as I'm on the air and have a platform and a voice, which I'm grateful that I do have. I'm blessed to have. Um, I'll do everything I can to make the folks who follow me aware of anything that's trending or it's a lie or something. Pretty much doing the same thing I do now, but it's only going to get busier. So, all right. Well, here's the good thing. As we get the show started, I don't know about you, but, and I know you're here for the news. I get that. We're going to get into it in 1 second. The weather's changing. I love it. As you can see, I'm year round when I'm doing these shows. You always see me in a sweatshirt or something because I always keep it cold on purpose. I love the cool air. But the weather's changing. It's October. The leaves are changing. I love this time of year. So hopefully you're enjoying it too, wherever you're at as well. All right. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll get rid of that. Okie dokie. So let's do this. All right. So the breaking news right now is if you haven't seen it, Letitia James has been indicted. Okay. I want to talk about something first, and I want you to please I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but there are some folks out here that don't I think every American should have a general understanding of how the justice system works. It's strange to me, and I know everybody's antsy. We're all antsy, waiting for those arrests and those handcuffs, and we were disappointed in Comey sneaking through the back door for his arraignment yesterday or Thursday. When was it? Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it was. When somebody like tonight, when Letitia James, I'm going to play her video in a minute. I want to have fun with it. When somebody's indicted, it doesn't mean that they were necessarily. It all depends, I guess. But usually, an indictment is handed down first from the grand jury, and they're made aware of it. We're used to seeing, like, watching cops and TV and movies and people getting the handcuffs thrown on them, being caught in the act. But these grand jury indictments, and grand jury indictments always have to come down. And if you're caught in the act, you got to sit in a cell and wait for that to be handed down to you. But whatever it is that you did. But in this case here, like Comey and Letitia James, and I know what you want, but it doesn't mean they were arrested. So when people post like breaking news, so and so was indicted, that means the indictment was handed down. Chances are they're probably still at home, if you will, and they could have been notified or will be notified by law enforcement, and usually sometimes they'll give them the opportunity to make an arrangement. And I know what you're thinking. Same with me. I can't stand her. All right, Letitia James. I just want to see them go over and arrest her and everything else. But an indictment gets handed down, and they have the opportunity to turn themselves in. Just like with Comey, there'll be a date set for arraignment. And who knows if the deal is made to where, we'll do it out of the public eye or whatever. It all depends, I guess. Well, here's the bottom line about Letitia James. and I'm not making light of this whatsoever. Um, I'm happy to see this tonight. And I think we're just starving, if you will. We're very hungry to see the arrest happen, the big ones. I want the big ones. What I'm excited about is right now, for example, Scott Bessent investigating and following the money when it comes to the radical groups like Antifa. That is what I want to see because that money is going to lead to the deep state. Okay. These politicians who are, excuse me, on your television screen, they're all puppets. It's designed that way. Um, you know, most of them, I don't even consider them deep state. They just take orders. Even like when during the Biden presidency, I don't even consider him deep state. Uh, just they're all puppets for your television screen. But I want to see the names, the George Soroses of the world, the names and faces of people that we don't even really know. They're never in the public eye and they're always in the shadows. Those are the people I want to see arrested. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about this whole thing with Letitia James. Um, to see her, pay the price, if you will. I think it's just it's what's the words I want to use? Silly and disgusting that they're out there. I haven't even watched yet since the news broke, so I haven't watched any of the propaganda legacy media, and just wanted to see what they're saying. I can just already imagine that Trump is weaponized. Let me take a wild guess, and I haven't watched any of it. Trump has weaponized the Department of Justice, and he's going after his political opponents. We know what it is. Okay. So, yes, you're right. Real quick, there's an update. People keep asking. I posted already. Not a post, but I answered in comments. Yes, the HRC deposition was scheduled today. It was. I guess it was postponed. I don't know if it's been rescheduled. It hasn't been made public yet. So, but whatever. I don't have anything on it because I don't have any information on it. That's all I know is there's been a rescheduled postpone. Her and Bill. So, but anyways, so they're all deep state puppets, and I want to see the people get arrested that are behind the scenes and in the shadows, etc. But when it comes to Letitia James, she deserves it, and the mainstream media, saying all those things that they're handed down to say, it's all predetermined, all talking points, all words that they want to use, the word of the day. And going after Donald Trump, he's weaponized the DOJ. He's only going after Tish James for this, and that. I think it's crazy. It's two things. I laugh at it, and I know how dangerous it is. What they did to Donald Trump, I don't believe this is retribution at all. I don't. Of course, he's human. Of course, secretly, he's not going to publicly say it. Of course, that I'm sure he's in behind closed doors with Melania and enjoying every moment of it. I certainly would be. But he's the president and he can't say certain things, and he takes the high road. Excuse me. And he says that he's going to leave it up to his DOJ and the people that he put in the administration. Now, again, Donald Trump has posted in his first term, again, what was so important in that first term, going to Twitter when it was Twitter owned by the old regime, he would post law and order all the time. I would like, if I could ever find out, I don't have the time to do that. I'm not asking anyone to do this, but I wonder how many times he actually posted on Twitter. He tweeted the words law and order only. And I felt that was a precursor for this time for to let us know that it's got to go by the book. And we cannot, as much as we want to, we can't go outside the line. We have to do everything by the book, law and order. This is what we want back in our country. All right. And it's difficult. And I know it's difficult, but you know what? I think it was, I can't remember. I remember Peter Navarro's statements. I know Roger Stone. That was a circus. They made a circus out of Roger Stone. The FBI shows up with CNN of all people at 3-4 in the morning, and they arrest Roger Stone in the middle of the night, and they make sure that the entire world sees that. And I know that's got to be something that Donald Trump wants to do, and probably Kash Patel, but there's a plan in place, and they're doing it the right way, even though we, John Q. Public, want to see everything. And I get that, but this has been the most transparent administration in United States history. Of course, I can only go back to when I was born, but if you go prior to that, this has to be. This is unbelievable what we get to witness every day. It's every day I come on here, and I'm sharing live feeds, cabinet meetings like today, pressers, executive order signings, almost every day. It's quite amazing. So, but yeah, as far as Peter Navarro goes, I can't recall. They may have, but it's been a minute. So let's go. Let's do this. All right, let me bring it on your screen. And I'm going to go to here. All right. And I'm going to share this. We're going to watch this together. All right, here we go. Let's hear what she has. I'm going to probably pause as we go along.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. I don't have it loaded, and I'm not going to play it, but I want to point something out before we continue, okay? Hakeem Jeffries, yesterday, that video that went viral, and where he's trying to act like a tough guy. And what he's trying to do, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, okay? I went back and watched that over on purpose for myself, and I paid attention to his body language and to the way he said, he kept repeating, you're embarrassing yourself, okay? He kept doing it to try and who was it? Let me go over here real quick. Matter of fact, I probably should. What I'll do is, and I'm going to bring this, not right now. We're going to keep playing this video, okay? I'm going to get it queued up. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Okay. All right. And that's when he was in the heated exchange with Mike Lawler. Okay, but my point I'm trying to make is watch the rest of this video with Letitia and think about the Hakeem Jeffries video. They try to project this dominance. It's fake. It's fake. They've been doing it in the news. Okay. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that they literally practice this stuff behind closed doors. It's part of their strategy to try and be kind of like a smart ass, being smirking all the time, acting like nothing's wrong with them. They're always right. They do nothing wrong. And obviously they project the other side. And I'm on that other side of being the aggressor, the fascist, whatever they say. But they're very I got to give him credit where credit is due, because evil is not stupid. Evil's pretty smart, and evil knows what it's doing. I've always said that about the Democrats, because a lot of people say they're a bunch of idiots and stuff, and I get that, and they are half the time, but they're not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing, and that's where probably like in The Godfather, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. People in the comments right now are saying gaslighting 101, a narcissist playbook. Correct. And that's what she's doing in this video right here. So let's continue.
At any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties.
Mm-hmm.
His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Hallelujah. Look, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, I come on here all the time, whether I'm on the air or on my social media platforms, and I do not hide behind hide behind anything. I'm an open book. I'm very transparent. I talk about my overcomings, my demons, and everything else that I had to overcome to get to where I am today. I'm damn proud of that. Very proud of that. And that's why I like shining a light on that, because I didn't do it I didn't do that alone. It was God's doing. And there's a problem here. Okay. I can't come on here, right, and sit here and throw scripture at you, and behind the scenes, right, do things that are illegal. Eventually, that's going to just take me back to that darkness. But I get sickened when people who are blatantly, obviously wrong and at fault and probably committing crime, and they're using scripture to boast themselves up like God is on their side, while doing these very devious, evil things. This is the work of the devil. This is everything that you talk about when you talk about good versus evil. This is it right here. It's quite something to witness, to behold. This is an act right here. This is an act. Okay, let me finish it.
We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
Okay, so what she's doing, let me get rid of that here. What she's doing is if you go back and listen to that, She's acting like she is the only one to stand up for New Yorkers. Correct. Now, let's go to your comments. Very self-righteous, standing up for New Yorkers. Like she is the one, and she has to come out there with an act projecting strength, using scripture, hiding behind that. And the way she shot that video, which is quite amusing to me, but and there's still a lot of sheep out there, and they're falling for this still, and they're gonna put her on a pedestal, and they're gonna be in her corner. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it like it is. She doesn't give a damn about any New Yorkers. She doesn't give a damn about other people. I know what it's like to be, well, not necessarily like that, but I know what it's like to do certain things like that. And thank God I'm not that man anymore today. Whew, Lord have mercy. It is, and I guess I'm quite, it's a front row seat for a man like myself personally to see this happening in real time. When at one point in time, I had some of those qualities when I was in my darkness, but seeing it now, every time I see stuff like this, I'm like, thank you. I always say it. I'm like, thank you, God. I'm not that man anymore. It's just a terrible way to live. And I promise you, that act that you just saw on your screen, okay, that woman is probably, this is an educated guess, that woman is probably one of the most miserable people. She probably takes it out on everybody around her in her circle. She's miserable when she's lying in bed at night, and the tape that's being played over and over in her head is nothing like what you just saw on that video. That is, yeah, it sounded like right. Someone says, sound like a voice of a demon. Expect their forked tongue come slithering out. You know what is kind of funny as that is? It's not far-fetched, not at all. And that's why I always realize that we're dealing with not the flesh and blood person, Letitia James. We're dealing with something much bigger. And it's good to know those things today. So yeah, but here's and let's go to the other one. Let's look at this now. Here we go. So this is from yesterday. Let me share the screen. We'll play a little bit of it. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Okay, is that up there? There we go. Let's do this. All right, let's listen to Hakeem Jeffries and Mike. It's Mike. Yeah, I keep forgetting Mike Lawler. And he keeps saying, as you see there, you're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. Let's watch a little bit of this. Let's talk about it.
Permission from your boss?
Why don't we sign on right now?
Did your boss Donald Trump?
You can easily extend
Did your
the ACA
did your
right
boss
now.
Donald Trump
He's
give
not
you
my
permission?
boss.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. And by the way,
So let me ask you a
why
question.
did you vote to
Let me
shut
ask
the
you a
government
question.
down?
You
Why
know
did you
I-
vote to shut
Let
it
me
down?
ask you a question.
For years, you
Well,
always lectured about how we need to
you're
keep the government
You're
open.
making a show of this to
No,
make
it's
yourself
sad.
relevant.
It's sad. You could
It's
easily
an
sign on to
You're
this.
embarrassing
You
yourself
could
right
sign
now.
on to this. The only
You're
embarrassment
chasing
here is
clout.
you.
You're an
You
embarrassment.
could sign on to the bill.
Let me ask you a question.
You have 4 Democrats on here.
Let me
Why
ask you a
won't you
question.
sign on
Let me ask
to
you a
it?
question.
It's a
Let
clean
me ask
extension
you a
for 1
question.
year.
You voted for the one big
Clean
ugly bill,
extension.
correct?
I voted for a
The
tax cut
largest-
bill that gave the
the
largest
largest
tax
cut-
cut
the
to
largest-
Americans in history,
the
including, by
largest-
the way, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing
Do you want
yourself
to
right
want
now.
to cut the standard deduction in
The
half? Is that
largest
what you
cut
wanted
to
to do?
Medicaid in
No, we
American
rooted
history.
out
You voted
waste,
for that.
fraud, and abuse, by the
You
way.
voted
Tom DiNapoli, the
for a
Democratic
permanent-
controller of New York,
Let me ask you a question.
pointed out that $1.2
If
billion
you're
were
gonna-
wasted.
Listen, you're not gonna
wasted,
talk.
wasted,
You're not gonna talk to
wasted
me. You're not
on
gonna talk to me
fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't
getting
want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Okay, let's leave it right there. So, all right, he keeps saying you're embarrassing yourself. he keeps saying that to try and belittle him. And he keeps saying, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. He doesn't want to answer the question. He doesn't want to address it at hand. Okay. Now I know like this comment right here. I agree completely. Of course. What a child, of course. But at the same time, let's look at the big picture. Hakeem knows what he's doing when it comes to doing the evil things. And to do what Hakeem's doing does take practice. But if you noticed, all right, he did start right at the end there. You know, let's watch the last couple seconds one more time.
$1.2 billion were wasted.
Listen, you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to me. You're not going to talk to me and talk over me.
So he puts his finger in his chest. You're not going to talk to me or talk over me. You know why? Because he got angry because Mike would not cave in to the way he was coming at him. Okay. He didn't fall into, you're embarrassing yourself. He wouldn't allow Hakeem to ask a question because he kept saying, let me ask you a question. So that's why Hakeem got very angry. Okay. I'm no expert at all when it comes to these things. I'm just telling you like it is and like I see it. But this is what's going on. It's Donald Trump today said, I don't even know who the leader of the Democratic Party is. And you know what? None of us really do. We really don't. But right now, this is exactly what they've been doing for a long time. This is a very evil party. This is the same thing that the legacy mainstream media does on the television every night. Okay. If you watch like CNN or that, what was it? I posted a CNN video regarding something. I forgot what it was just recently. And about Antifa. And CNN, the reporter, the female reporter over there was running cover for Antifa, but she was doing it in a very snarky way. Like, we're crazy. How dare you question Antifa? So this is what they have put in place. And I think that's enough. I don't need to share that anymore. And this is what Donald Trump told us from the very beginning about draining the swamp. And I can literally remember his beginning speeches before he became president in the first term, saying, you guys don't have any idea how deep this goes. And he was right. But why they're being torn apart, they're getting agitated, is because we're onto them. Okay. It's taken years to get to this point, but we're onto them. So I got something I want to also address here. They constantly, okay, think about this. Legacy media constantly lies every single night. And they have, again, I'll give credit where credit is due. They have very good stamina when it comes to that. So they're touting out all these lies. We know they're lies. Okay. Most people, even people on their side, know it's a lie. But if you keep telling somebody over and over and over and over and over again, they're eventually going to believe it. Just like I talk about, like my last show. It was a great show. Look forward to doing more. I'm a big person on the power of your mind and your thinking and understanding scripture and knowing how you can completely change your life, run your life, and own your life and have a great life. Knowing how to think. They know that. And I said that on my last show, that they also know that is a big secret. It's about how we think. And that's why they keep projecting that. Now, when Donald Trump comes out every single day, there are many times it's like Trump sounds repetitious. Okay. And it's like, oh, we've heard this. We know this already. We know it. Why did Trump keep talking about this over and over and over again? And I gave it it took some time to think about that. And after everything I just said, and I put two and two together, I'm like, you know what? Legacy media does that every single night. The Democrats are going on TV and it's doing the same thing every night, and they're not giving up. They're relentless. And that's why Donald Trump does that all the time. And now to you and I, it gets very repetitious because we're awake, we're on this side, and we think, oh, okay, we know that Trump already, but he's doing that on purpose because there's been a lot of people waking up and coming to join this party, just like you saw yesterday. If you were watching the roundtable yesterday, there was a reporter there, and I knew nothing about her, and she said that for many years she had TDS. All right, but it's just recently that she woke up. And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of people who are coming onto this side. So that's why it's important for, even though we might be sick of it, you got to keep putting out the truth over and over and over again, because we're up against that, what we just showed you. So eventually, one way or the other, someone's going to break. And right now, our side, I'm not a big person about sides and things like that, but I got to be careful with my words. But the side of good is winning. Okay. The side of good is winning right now. And that is something to be very positive about, to be hopeful about. Now, something else that I'd like to go into is, all right, so we bring Letitia James on, kind of broke it down. She's being indicted. You can go on my pages and see the indictment. There's a PDF to it, I believe. And I'm not going to break this down tonight, but it's about 2 counts of mortgage fraud. And the bottom line is this: she bought a second home saying it was going to be her second home. But instead, I guess she rented it out. You can't do that. It's against the law. So they got her pretty much hook, line, and sinker. And then we have Comey, who just got indicted as well. Now, I do know, and I realize there's a lot of talk going on. Is this Red October? A lot is happening. A heck of a lot's happening. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah, peace in the Middle East. We're going to get into in a moment here, but there's quite a bit happening around the world for sure. So, but with these indictments going on, and we're not seeing what we want to see, okay, I will be very transparent with you right now. I've had my days. There has been moments where I started to write something on social media, and at the last moment, I pulled away. I do that often. And I pulled away because I thought, I don't want to post that because that could be the wrong message and people are going to think I'm giving up. Of course, I don't want to do that at all. I understand the role that I'm in, that God has given me, and I like being a leader. I take that with great responsibility. I don't take that lightly. So it's important for me what I put out, the words I put out, and what I project. That matters to me. Obviously, it doesn't matter to the people I just played on your screen, but it does matter to me. And I just again, let me go over here real quick. I'll go back to my notes. I'll go back to your comments in a moment here. I like getting your comments up on the screen, but it's been postponed. That Hillary thing's been postponed, but the indictments have been not what we wanted. We want to see the arrest. We want to see the big things. I'm about to put these things on the screen, but my transparency is that I have my days as well. Okay, and I could be completely honest with you that I have a few choice words for Donald Trump behind your screen, because I'm human and I do want to see certain things right now. I'm I have somewhat of a timeline, personal timeline right here before I start to dissent, if you will. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not going to the other side. I just mean start kind of calling out a few things. But right now, I'm not necessarily there. You have your days. I have my days. But then something happens the next day or the day after, and it's like, you know what? Calm down. This is starting to, again, making sense still. So I think it's still too premature for me to complain about anything. Draining the swamp is something that doesn't happen overnight. Again, I say the first 4 years of Donald Trump, his term was exposing the swamp, and now we're in the part of draining the swamp. But if you take your time and you look at the daily news events that are ongoing and what they're talking about, and I think that's like, for example, why he has his cabinet meetings is because you can get an idea of like, okay, yeah, like recollect your thoughts and like, oh yeah, that's going on. We made peace in the Middle East. They're going after the Antifa money. And the only reason I tell myself they're going after Antifa money is because of RICO charges. And then ICE is out there, and so many things are happening at one time. And it's like all coming together. So I am still very positive that there is this plan in place. But here's the thing. It's not like we're waiting on it. It's already unfolding. It may not be unfolding in the way that you wanted to see. Okay. Because I know a lot of people on the internet, they'll post, about the tribunals and quite extensive stuff. Of course, there are certain ones that I'd like to see. I'm behind people on that. Everybody wants to see the big one, which would be Obama. I get that. And I think we're getting close. I think we're getting closer. So here's the thing. The good news is we're not going backwards. That's for certain. All right. We've been full steam ahead and we're going forward. I think people are, still critical of certain people in the Trump administration. I'm not there yet. I have no reason to be critical. It's not even about giving them the benefit of the doubt. It is about giving them the time that they need. Again, we're only almost 9 months into this presidency. We still have over 3 years to go. And I'll say this right now, no question about it. This is the hard truth. This is no BS for sure. All right. Donald Trump has to get this done. Because if this doesn't get done, and what I mean by this is the taking down of these corrupt judges, holding the people who are accountable for Russia, holding the mainstream media accountable, holding these crooked AGs like we're seeing today, which is good. It's accountability. Holding them accountable. If we don't get this done, and you know what? I can't even go as far as 2028. I could probably only give them until the midterms of next year. We cannot relinquish power anytime soon. It has to continue full steam ahead. And Donald Trump's right when he would post about that, accountability has to happen. It has to happen now. So I know that people like Bongino and Patel and Bondi, they have their hands full. Kristi Noem, they have their hands full. They have a lot of responsibility. I look at it too. Sometimes I say to myself, like, imagine if I was in that person's shoes. Can you imagine the workload that you have? So I'm not anywhere near getting ready to descent or jump off ship, but I do have my days. We all have our days. Yeah, that's for sure. Not just because I don't publicly display it doesn't mean it's not happening. I have 2 grandsons, as you all know, and they're my world. Those little guys. I'll be seeing them tomorrow. See, that's such a big deal to me. It's such a big deal to me in my life. And I just want what's right for them. Like you all do. A lot of you who follow me have grandchildren and or children for that matter. And I just want a better world for them tomorrow. And I'll be honest with you. If Donald Trump does it, I'll just say the worst case scenario, Donald Trump doesn't follow through and he falls short on this, I'll be ripping him apart. Because I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I think this accountability is just getting underway. It's just getting underway now. It's not scripted the way you and I have it scripted. Okay. But it's underway. So again, I'll come on here all the time and talk about patience and faith. And God always shows up at the last minute. And just like I said today, now I'll transition into peace in the Middle East, because a lot of people are worried about, a false, not necessarily a false flag, but Hamas. And of course, I get it. Who wants to put any faith in terrorists? Nobody. Or Israel, for that matter. So, but I'd like to transition into that. Let me go. I'll go back over here. Let me go. I haven't been looking at your comments. So, yeah, right. Being a grandparent is the best. There's a good one too there. That's a very, very logical point. Maybe Comey and James getting Biden appointed judges to show how corrupt our system is. There you go. Because I believe Letitia James got also today a Biden appointed judge. Because if the judicial system is corrupt and it continues to stay corrupt, we don't have a chance. We don't have a chance. I'm being asked, do I think Obama and HRC will see justice? That's a good question. I'm going to answer. It's only opinion, of course, but I'm trying to answer it as truthfully as possible. I would think so, and I would think they'd have to. Because preceding this question, I just said, we have to have accountability. We can't go on. I don't even want to entertain the thought of them getting back the House, whether it's the presidency or the House in general. Because we're effed if that's the case. You thought things were bad then? Do you know the retribution tour that they're going to go on? They would unravel everything Donald Trump did. They did that remember the day that Biden got in? It was Nancy Pelosi right there, front and center, bam, with a stack of executive orders to undo everything. They'll do that again. And you probably won't see people like me. People like me will probably get thrown in jail. That's the truth. I could see it. It's not far-fetched at all. It'll turn into the UK. London has fallen. It's crazy over there. It's madness. I don't know how they're dealing with it over there. I don't know what the answer is over there, except to fight back. And that's what's going to happen here. And it can't be done. That's why, again, to answer your question, yeah, I think that has to be done. We have to hold these people accountable. And we have to, like Donald Trump says, drain the swamp in every area. The judicial system. That's why I was happy about cutting fraud, abuse, and waste when they came in the door with Doge, and they went immediately with Linda McMahon after the Department of Education, because that's extremely important. So all those things and the way they've done it since they right out of the gate tells me there's an absolute plan. Like, I believe that Donald Trump's tour back in May of the Middle East, when he went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, etc., Qatar. And I said it then too. I said there's more deals going on than what we know about. Sure, it was about the economy and billions of dollars being pumped into the United States, which is absolutely wonderful. But But I said there's going to be more deals being made behind the scenes there. And I think there was. That's just my educated guess. And it had a lot to do with what we witnessed last night, today, and what we're going to witness in the coming days here. Matter of fact, I probably should check right now. But Donald Trump is getting ready he's packing his bags, and he's getting ready to leave for the Middle East. That's amazing. The president of the United States, Donald Trump, is going to the Middle East. He's leaving tomorrow. I don't know what the schedule is, and I'm sure I'll probably find out later. But yeah, I'm go back to your comments. So let me go some of your comments here. Everything that's been made public about all the corruption, don't worry, justice will prevail. Again, I know it's been difficult, folks, and it's been a long time, but we've come this far. I don't think we should stop now or give up now. So, greatness takes time. Greatness takes time. It takes years. See, now this, no, don't entertain that. I don't know why you would think. I'm not trying to pick on you. I don't even know who you are because you got a short name, but which is good. I don't have to call you out. Don't even entertain that in your mind. One, he's not being set up. This is real. And you think about it. Yeah, right. The capitulation tour and all the troops everywhere President Trump was around. You go back to his first stop. Where was his first stop in 2017? Saudi Arabia, and you all saw that sword dance. And we all thought it would come back one day. And I think we're at the beginning of it. This, I posted earlier that this Middle East peace deal will kickstart the golden age of America. Democrats are trying to unravel everything. It's, again, I know I keep saying that word, but they're super evil. We are up against evil like we've never seen before. Look, folks, another thing too. There's a what did I say? Let me go find out what I said. Let me read it to you. On my Facebook. I won't bring it on the screen. I'll just read it to you. What I said to you shortly ago before I came on the air somewhere. I said, pay attention to who's not talking about the peace deal that President Trump and his team brokered. Ask yourself, who's been quiet? Funny how some of the same people everyone's been hyping up lately suddenly have nothing to say. Silence speaks volumes. I haven't even read the comments in that yet. That post was not necessarily about any elected political figure. What I was really talking about are the social media influencers out there. I just want to, it'd probably be a good idea. Here's a good idea. Let's do this. Let me bring X on the screen. Hold on. Do this. Let's take a look. Let's pick somebody out. Anybody out. Okay, let's do this. I want to see what they have to say. Curious to see what they're saying about this peace deal with President Trump. It's historic. It's absolutely historic what we're witnessing. I bragged, all I bragged about in the 4 years of Donald Trump, especially the last two, was the peace in the Middle East under his first term. Now, I know it was Jared Kushner and Mike Pompeo out there running around and others. But again, Jared Kushner was out there, and watching the peace, the alliances, it was amazing. My entire life, I never seen this type of stability and peace in the Middle East under President Trump's first term. And I would tell God rest her soul, I would tell my late wife all about it. I'm like, Danielle, you don't understand. I'm like, this is incredible. I says, do the average America understand what is happening here with this peace and stability in the Middle East? So, again, it's a very, very big deal. This is something that's changing the world. Even the beginning of the golden age, a new world, this has the makings of it. Some will say it's biblical. So if I had to pick, let's just, I just picking out a name. So let's pick a social media. Let's pick Candace Owens. Let's see what she had to say about the peace deal. Let's see how about what did she have to say about President Trump's peace deal? Let's share your screen. I don't even know. I haven't looked on her page. All right, let's take a look. We'll go back. We're gonna go back all the way to tomorrow night. Last night. So let's see what she says. Okay, 2 hours ago, she's still talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm still talking about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Still. Oh, you're attacking Dinesh D'Souza. Oh, you guys are attacking each other. Wait a minute. I'm on October 7th already. Oh, look at that. Not one single post about congratulations, Donald Trump and team and the historical deal to make peace around the world. She said nothing. That's interesting. Wow. Did I pick her at random? Of course I didn't pick her at random. I'm making a point. I don't even have to go any further. And if you hate Bruce right now, what can I say? I'm just pointing it out. I'm showing you something. Let's go. You talk about, I'll get into that in a second. Let's try, how about Ian Carroll? Let's try Ian Carroll. Let's see what he has to say. Follow the money. Seek the truth. Don't talk about these guys like that. They're hardworking truthers. So full of shit. These people have misled you so much. Yeah. And there they go. I got a better, easier one to do. Let's do this. Hold on a second. Let me go. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, somebody said, I don't even know. She's attacking Dinesh because he called her out on the Roseanne podcast. I've always liked Candace. No, I'm just confused about her. Look, folks. Here's what I'll do. I'll do this. Be careful who you follow. Let me put a disclaimer on this. Okay? Let me put a disclaimer on this. I take donations. Now, I've always separated myself. I don't feel that this movement or the Q movement, even though I share Q drops, I legitimately consider myself an independent news reporter with a podcast. And if you do this full time, you have to have funding. It's impossible. You're not going to be able to do it. So you got to understand the difference here, what this drop is talking about. All right. I get, you guys support me with donations. It helps wonderful. I have an overhead, and you all know that. Be careful who you follow. Some are profiting off of this movement. Let's talk about that. Some are building a big following off this movement, only when to retreat and go mainstream. I'm not mainstream. You know what I'm saying? But right now, some of these people that I'm pointing out are mainstream. Patriots are selfless. I agree with that. Do they ask for monthly payments to remain patriots? That's why I put this disclaimer on that. You know, understand it depends what they're doing. Like there's certain ones that are independent news reporters, and you saw them all around the round table. They always ask for funding. Okay, there's a difference. Think logically. To some, it's only about the money. I told you time and time again. Here's what I'll tell you. There is an algorithm on X. Okay, I've really been trying my hardest over there. I can't make hardly any money. You know, I might get I'm lucky to get $20 a month in my account from X. I've been really working hard at it. Okay, working very hard. But on X, you have that algorithm. You have those the views, and if you follow certain people, there is something. There are words that you use in your headlines that will get you more clicks and views. I'm well aware of this. And these people are very, very good at doing that, is what I'm saying. I'm not here to influence you. And this show is really not about that. This is only part of it. I'm not here to do that. You're going to make up your own mind. I get some hate mail later, I'm sure. You know, people screaming at me. How dare I say something about Candace Owens or Ian Carroll or something like that. Nothing new. But this drop right here, I'm just telling you, be careful who you follow. There are people getting paid big time out there. They're profiting. Here's how I can explain it. They're making money with X, but in order to generate that type of continued amount of views, somebody else is funding them behind the scenes. And it could be foreign. All you have to do is continually pay attention to what they post and how they word things. I could probably go on X right now and just, you guys could throw out a name to me. Okay. There are people, let me say this. There are certain people out there, and they do, like somebody said, somebody makes bank. There are certain people out there who deserve it. And they have a very massive following, and they do the right thing. And they're creative, and they worked hard to get that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. At all. You know, I have some things in the works right now myself. Put it this way. Somebody just asked me this question on your screen. Unless it goes with some major breaking story that's so relevant and it's something that connects to Tucker, I probably will never post. When's the last time you see me post Tucker? I could tell you when the last time you see me post people like Bannon, Tucker, and go down and down the line. Okay? I'll tell you exactly when I stop posting these people. It's when Donald Trump, they turn their backs on Donald Trump. They turned their backs on Donald Trump when he said, we're going to go in Iran. We're going to if we didn't go into Iran and take out the nuclear facilities, we wouldn't be talking peace in the Middle East today. These people turned their back on Donald Trump, and they were vocal about it on social media. And when you have a social media presence that big, that monstrous, that gigantic, you have a responsibility. They know exactly what they are doing, and they know how powerful their posts are when they get that kind of attraction out there. They know exactly what they're doing. I was disgusted when these people threw President Trump under the bus, and then they went on a rampage and kicking and screaming, we're going to get into World War III. It's only a matter of time before boots are on the ground. What are you doing? And just stabbing Donald Trump in the back. And guess what I did? And you guys know. And then go back and look at my posts. History's there. I came out and said, I stand with President Trump. This is a good move. Nobody wants war. They start going on and stabbing him in the back. Oh, he's supposed to be the peacetime president. Well, unfortunately, some things need to be done in order for us to get the peace. And they're not pretty sometimes. I kept saying, and I posted before the bombs were dropped. Before the bombs were dropped, I posted, we are not going to World War III. How did I know that? I'm not a prophet. It's because I feel that I educate myself in these things that happen. And I know the events that are going on, the moving parts around the world. And I was so confident to go on my social media platform and post right before the bombs did drop. I said, we are not getting into World War III. And I don't know if I named their names, but I said, these people going around, I said, they stabbed President Trump in the back. They are lying, or they're absolutely a coward. And they're not as smart or intelligent as I once thought they were. And I could tell you right now, I am pretty darn proud of myself for standing my ground with my president and my own knowledge of telling all of you we're not going to World War III. It's not happening. They ran around, stabbed him in the back. Tucker, Bannon, Laura Loomer. I can go on and on and on. People put these people on a pedestal. I don't understand it. Again, this is just me, this little old me in my little corner of the world. This is how I feel. I've always bragged about the discernment that I have today because it's something like a fire. And my discernment's been right for a very long time. The only reason it's been right is because I stay on a very narrow path. Not easy. But I'll tell you what, that discernment plays a big part for Mind Fix TV. Huge part. So I know at times it takes courage for myself to come out here and name drop because I know how certain people are going to react. And part of me says, darn, you're going to lose the certain chunk of your following. And if I keep thinking that way, if I were to continue thinking that way, then my focus is not right. My focus is on followers and likes and things like that. That's not human nature. But at the same time, I'm like, nope. My discernment's on fire. I know what I'm talking about because God is telling me I know what I'm talking about. He's got my back and I have nothing to worry about. So have the courage to step out, be responsible with what you say. Just don't go saying crazy stuff and calling people names like certain people do. God only knows why people follow people who abuse you and call you names. I'll never understand that. Yeah, you probably know who I'm talking about. But I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why people just can, there's this like, there's this, what's going on right now with the whole Candace Owens thing. All right. And they're putting her on a pedestal. If you want to go down the Charlie Kirk thing and you think that he was not killed, or if there's another shooter, which is fine. I already said it's going to be the next JFK for years and years and years to come. All right. But if you want to do that, stop putting Candace Owens on a pedestal. Do your own work. Do your own research. Put it out there for the world to see. Let them judge it. The reason I say that is there's a strong chance that you are being lied to and misled. That's all. Maybe I went too far with this evening, perhaps, because I'm very careful about throwing people under the bus. But sometimes I have to make a point. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying that I'm the Almighty at all. At all. Far from it. But people out there, I'm just telling you to be very careful. Very careful. You haven't seen me post anything, not one thing about Charlie Kirk or the certain conspiracy theories that are going around. I have no problem with people wanting to defend the tragic death of Charlie Kirk and go down that rabbit hole and look for truth. There's nothing wrong with that. We did that with JFK. All right. But a lot of people I see out there are getting real sidetracked. When the big picture at hand right now, the big picture is something like breaking news. Donald Trump secures peace in the Middle East and stops the war between Israel and Hamas. That is news, folks. That is change. That is almost biblical. Stay focused. And if anything, I think Charlie Kirk was a wonderful human being, God given to us for sure. Gave us a short time with Charlie, and Charlie's now a martyr. And Charlie's left behind an impression. He's changed a lot of minds. And God worked through that man. Just like I brag about God working through me. God worked through Charlie. And that's something that he was always proud about. He'd always put his faith first. Every time he was on that stage or on his podcast, he always talked about his faith and putting God first. I believe that man was chosen. I know the saying goes, only the good die young. And he was one of the good ones. And he left behind the mark for sure, an impression for many years to come, for many generations. And a lot of good is going on. So just be careful out there who you do follow and who you put on a pedestal. That's why you'll never catch me ever. I get a lot of compliments, wonderful compliments. They're humbling compliments. You'll never see me brag or boast. And the only time you'll see me boast is one about my grandchildren, or two about what God is doing for me that I couldn't possibly do for myself. And I will boast about that gladly anytime, because it deserves to be boasted about. We have peace in the Middle East. You're very welcome. We have peace in the Middle East. We have Donald Trump leaving here tomorrow for, I don't have the whole breakdown. I have to look. I was told he was going to Egypt, but now I think he's going to Israel. He's going to Jerusalem. He's going to speak there. But I haven't seen the breakdown, so I don't know. A lot of things have been moving awfully fast. I should probably take a peek. You never know. Let me take a peek real quick, just in case there's breaking news. So I'm getting word across the wire. It looks like again, this is what I'm reading, probably legit, but when I do a live podcast, it's not confirmed. It says the United States military is to send 200 troops to Israel to monitor and support ceasefire deal in Gaza. So that is one heck of a time to be happy that our troops are going there, because we're not going to war. It's a complete 180, the opposite. We're going to assist in the end of the war. It's over. What Donald Trump has done, what he has accomplished, what he has dodged, assassination attempts, what he has overcome, and he's still going, is the most remarkable thing that I have ever witnessed in my lifetime. And I believe, and I truly believe, one thing I've always believed, God can work through us if we allow him. Most of us put up a roadblock. That's ego and pride. But I believe God is working through Donald Trump. And I love the people that God chooses. I've always been a fan of Paul, the Apostle Paul, Saul, and his conversion. It's always been a great example to me, knowing that in the story of Saul to the Apostle Paul was a big part of my recovery in my life and coming out of my darkness, because I thought, if God can use somebody like that and use them for his purpose after the things that he did, that gave me hope. It gave me great hope. And it's until this day, it gives me hope, knowing that God can use anybody for his purpose. And I believe that he's been using Donald Trump. And I don't think Donald Trump has been the greatest Christian, if you will, but I've seen over the years, what I personally believe, that God has been drawing him near. That's why I'm so vocal on here and transparent about my past, because I'm an imperfect person and God uses us. And it's such an honor to know that. And I think Donald Trump realizes that today. I really do. I think he realizes that today. Everybody has a different time and different season that they're in. But to witness President Trump going through this and seeing God, the hand of God on him, and growing closer to God, has been a joy to watch and witness. We don't get to see that often. So again, we've been living in biblical times, if you're truly paying attention. Hence why you're seeing evil so crazy on the world stage. Absolutely bonkers and vile and vicious and violent. All the V's. Violent, vicious, and violent. Vile. But again, like I said, this whole thing in the Middle East, I've been watching for a very, very long time, prior to October 7th, for many, many years. I'm very excited about the prospect of what is going to take place, what's to come. I will not lie. I am as well, even though I'm putting out posts saying, don't worry. My human side is got a reservation. And that has to do with definitely Hamas and a terrorist group. I mean, who can trust that? But that's why I'm trying to shift my thoughts and my thinking towards God is in control. I don't have to worry about that. And I mean that sincerely. But I'm also a realist when it comes to the craziness on the world stage. And that's why I put out another post regarding, radical extremists around the world, possibilities of false flags or something going off. So, it won't be a surprise to me at all. But these days ahead, This entire weekend going into Monday, Tuesday, it's changed a little bit because there's moving parts. I get that. But it looks like the hostages are going to return home on Monday, according to Donald Trump, Monday, Tuesday at the latest. And then, the ceasefire was announced today by Hamas themselves. So it's moving quite fast. It was wonderful to witness that yesterday in real time with Secretary of State Marco Rubio handing the note to President Trump and whispering in his ears. I know every single one of you thought exactly what I felt, thought and felt exactly what I felt when we witnessed that. I thought of George Bush on 9/11. How could you not when you saw that? So I was kind of like, oh, what is this about? We saw history repeat itself in the image, okay, but it wasn't the news. So it was quite the opposite, hence that meme that was put out, showing Bush at the top being whispered in his ear, "Sir, we're at war," and then the bottom one with Marco Rubio, "Sir, we're at peace." So yeah, this is quite a big deal and an accomplishment here on the world stage, and he's done it again. Anybody not giving Donald Trump any credit in his team? There's a team of people, okay, in the world. Donald Trump can't take all the credit. I get it, but he's at the top of it, no question about it. No question about it. But a lot of credit goes to his team and Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and a lot of other people, and because to pull this off is amazing. And I know, yeah, I'll wait on Hillary Clinton to eat her word. She says if Trump can pull off this in the Middle East and bring peace, I'll nominate him from the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, I'll wait for that. She said that because she didn't think it was possible. But we have a few days here. We got to get to that other side. And the exciting part is, here's the exciting part, okay? For people who do not understand, when I saw somebody post, and I understand where you're coming from, but I saw somebody post, why do we have to worry about all these other countries? Why can't we just worry about America? I get you. I totally get you. But if you paid attention over all these years, you would understand that the world doesn't work that way. Okay. I get it. There was a certain part where I hate being the world police, and we have to we have to get into a new world. But Donald Trump is creating that new world, and he's doing that through the economy, energy, the tariffs, bringing peace to bringing peace to the Middle East is stopping the war. That's nothing compared to what is about to come. I guarantee you the things that are about to unfold with the deals that we've made with Saudi Arabia, the European Union, Qatar, all those in the region. I think great things are about to unfold. You have great things about to unfold coming out of there with this peace deal. You have great things to come on. The trade's in place. The tariffs are in place. And now we got to get that war stopped between Ukraine and Russia. And I'm telling you right now, we have to make we have to have a much better relationship, business relationship with Russia, because Democrats will completely close the door on that. And this is how the world can change. We stop this violence. We come together. There's always going to be radical extremists. I get it. There's always going to be a pissed off group somewhere wanting to kill, maim, and destroy. But if we can quell that down, bring that down, and work together on the world stage, the things that can be accomplished, and the peace that can be introduced into this world will be astounding. I can't believe that I'm in a position to witness it. And this Middle East peace deal is much more significant than most people probably realize. But in the coming weeks and months ahead, as long as this peace deal holds, you're going to see some great things unfold here. And correct. And go to the comments here. And you were told the best is yet to come. I think when he said that back then, many years ago, he knew the plan. He knew where we had to get to. And we're there right now. This is part of what I was talking about. I'm not ready to throw in the towel. I'm not ready to give up because we've come too far. As draining as it's been, as infuriating as it's been not to see people perp walked or trials yet. Okay. Remind yourself, we just got into the door. We're only almost 9 months in. Give it a chance a little bit longer, because look, just take an inventory, take a review of everything that they have done since day one of January 20th, 2025. Everything. It's quite remarkable. And here's the best thing about it all. We're a part of it. We're kept in the loop. This stuff isn't going on behind the scenes. Everything is transparent for the world to see. This is why Democrats hate that. They do everything behind the scenes. They always have. But here we are. It's quite incredible. Let me go to your comments here. Go ahead in the comments right now. Before I close, say what you want to say. Ask what you want to ask. I'll check the wire again before I go off the air. Correct. I will say this while I'm waiting to see your comments. Last week on the last show at the second hour, I talked about the power of our mind, faith. That seemed to go over very well. A lot of people messaged me. I look forward to doing more on that. I know a time and a place for all that, how that works when it's appropriate. And I was pretty excited about the feedback on that. So I look forward to doing more. Yes, it's a great time to be alive. Absolutely. When we see the hostages actually walking in freedom. Yeah. I don't know how many are left. Somebody said it was like 20 alive or something. But there are a number deceased, but and I know we want their bodies back. When is the Bible study starting? Yeah, you're going to hear that more about that towards the end of the month. And I'll have more information for you. I'm working on some things right now, getting that all together. Debbie says, I know things won't happen overnight. I can wait. And when stuff does happen, I dance a jig. There you go. Yeah, well, I'll be doing that. That's for sure. Appreciate you guys very much. Let me check the wire again real quick. Just to make sure. Let me see if I got, what's this? Okay, nothing there. So I don't see anything per se, but once I get more information, as soon as I get more information about the exact type of schedule, and of course you're not going to get all of it because of security reasons, but the idea of this is interesting. I just got interrupted. So it looks like I'm looking at somebody I follow. I'll bring this on your screen. So I'm going to put this on your screen, and this is a clip. This is from the Letitia James indictment. Let me bring this on your screen. So it looks like from there, they're asking for forfeiture of her assets. So that's quite interesting. Yes, please do. Go after it. Do I think it's BS about getting a Doge rebate? Um, Here's what I'll say about that. A lot of people, that was never an official announcement. Again, you know how the internet works. You know, people run with every little thing. That wasn't an official. That was just something tossed around. I think it happened during a cabinet meeting or whatever. And Elon said something, and Trump said something, and people put that into stone like it was gospel. But that was just something they were kicking around. Yes, I think it's coming. I can't say when, but think about everything I said right now about this. This is why this peace deal is a big deal. It's going to kickstart the golden age of America. It's going to help tremendously. And we're going to see things start moving a lot faster when it comes to things like the economy. And I think at some point, because people would always ask me about Nasara Jassara, and I said, I don't buy into that internet one because everybody can't get $1 million. The world needs ditch diggers because we wouldn't be able to operate proper that way. But I think in some sense, yes, there's going to be something coming back to us eventually, whether it's in the form of, you know, it's going to be a combination. It's going to have a lot to do with tariffs. Tariffs are a big thing. That's why he talks about it all the time. But you know, I can only sit here and guess it's going to come in the form of, you know, back interest rates and all kinds of things like that. And I just don't know. But I do feel in my heart that something is coming. Donald Trump knows exactly what we're saying out here on internet land. Okay. And he knows some of the most important issues to us. He knows. I know he comes out here bragging about the economy. I get that. But at the same time, he knows we're still hurting at the gas pump and in the grocery store. Hang on a little bit longer. It is coming. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I just want to say, Bruce, that you're the only person I've ever followed that I've never once questioned about you being paid to push propaganda. Yeah. No, that don't happen. I really like that. Thank you. You are very welcome. Let's see here. All right. Let me hide that one there. Okay. All right. So again, just checking the wire for the last time. I'll post Trump's schedule as soon as they make the schedule public. I do follow, just to let you know, and it's quite eerie. It's very eerie. I do follow Clandestine. And I periodically repost screenshots of his posts. It's like, I don't even know who it is, but it's like if I had an alter ego, a twin out there. Because the things he posts is like everything is in my head and how I feel and what I post. So he can be a little more direct, if you will. And he was this evening, earlier today. He'll call people out, and he despises it as just as much as I do when people want to throw Trump under the bus and his picks under the bus because people don't have patience or they don't have the ability to take the time and look at the long game of things. You know, everybody just wants it now. And if they don't get it now, fire Bondi, fire Cash Patel, fire all these people. You know, can't be trusted. And these conspiracy theories start, and the crazy stories start that they're connected and they're owned by Israel, they're owned by China. It's madness. It's absolutely madness out here. Whew. That's why I need a vacation sometimes. Who is that I just named? Hold on. Hang on, let me bring it up. Okay, I'll share this page with you. He's on Telegram too. Right here, clandestine. Okay. So he sounds like me. If you're celebrating Letitia James being indicted, I haven't even read these. I mean, I read the earlier ones. I haven't read these. You can thank the new leadership of the DOJ, Pam Bondi. Many MAGA influencers, have been extremely disrespectful and hateful towards Bondi, and it's a long past time to stop. Bondi is producing. Quit bitching. Trust Trump. I've been saying that for a long time. Here's another one. There he is. As I was talking about, Ian Carroll. So the same, oh boy. I'm just going to read what he says, okay? I'm just going to read what he says because I can imagine what this post says. So the same woke right morons who claim Trump would drag us into world. There you go. Well, I've been saying it into World War III, and Israel would commit a false flag, violate the ceasefire, and are now coping by claiming Israel will not honor the ceasefire in Gaza. Of course, they're holding on this, grasping at straws. The people who are wrong about everything have an opinion again. At this point, oh boy, I see names. If you listen to anything like Ian Carroll, Nick Fuentes, Dave Smith, Candace Owens, or any other of the woke right, you see it there, have to say, dipshits, have to say, after they were catastrophically wrong about Iran and everything else pertaining to Trump, when it's your own fault. These clickbait whores never actually cared about the people of Gaza. You're 100% right. Gaza, peace in the Middle East, or saving the nation. It was all just about clicks and hating the Jews. And I'm tired of their stupidity affecting the minds of the gullible. The madness has to stop. So he puts a side by side from 6/22 of this year on June 22nd. In case you're confused, the next step is, Ian says, after Iran has launched such an evil and violent, unprovoked attack on U.S. military personnel, we have no choice but to put boots on the ground. Give it a month or two, probably us. And then today, this morning, he posts, so how long until Israel starts bombing refugees again? Ladies and gentlemen, people like this, influencers like this, have an agenda. And most likely, they're being paid by foreign governments, or maybe internally as well. They have an agenda, and yet they have a massive following. It is designed that way. My advice, here's my advice. Simple, very simple. My advice is this: think for yourself. Be rooted in a foundation of faith and spirituality and a relationship with God, and think for yourself. You can't fail. Well, that's it. I'm done. I'm getting out of here. I love you guys. Appreciate you very much. You want to support me in any way? There's links in all my bio descriptions on all my social media platforms. You can do that. I run strictly on donations to afford the monthly cost it takes to do shows like this, pay for the platforms, etc. And you guys have been a wonderful and incredible group of folks who have supported me along the way. And that's why I work very hard and try and always be direct, tell the truth, and only provide facts. And when I give an opinion, it's based on never based on emotion. It's based on very logical reasoning. So, all right, guys, you have a wonderful evening. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you real soon. All right, bye-bye.